Hi guys, hope you all have a fantastic day. Well, today we need to change our front brake pads. So it's really not a lot of stuff to explain what to do. We are gonna change the old and put the new. So without further ado, let's try to replace it. Okay, first thing to do is to open your brake reservoir so that fluid can go back in when we push our caliper back. Okay, so when we are done that, we are going here, we are gonna grab our penetration fluid and just spritz here because there is always rusted, so just spray them and then everything should go a lot easier. Okay, when we're done that, you want to leave it for a couple of minutes to penetration fluid do his magic, and while we're waiting we can remove this safety pin and we can remove this safety pin. So we take pliers and grab them and try to remove it. They are always stuck, so it's a little bit hard thing to do, but there you go. Yeah, so the same thing with the other one, but you get the idea. Let's continue. Okay, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but you need a hammer and this big pin. And the reason is why you need it, because everyone who does these brake jobs on LADAs force the brakes and they rusted together, and that's why you can get uneven brake wear, because someone just push everything together. You need to take your time, so I just hammer a little bit on each side, nothing too much, just to break loose those tension, and that's it. Nothing too hard. You just loosen up those tension, and then we take a hammer, just hammer it while you can. Then you're gonna get this. You see, we push it a little bit, then you grab your pliers, but not what you work for fine stuff. I use these pliers to do this, so don't use your good pliers. Okay, that wasn't that hard. Now try, when you're doing, just collect everything. Okay, this is even rusted together, I didn't expect that. So yeah, a lot of things on LADA is rusted. So you use a hammer, but use it gently. And just don't lose those springs. You're gonna reuse it, so don't lose those springs. And now it's the same thing on the other side, because as you can see, nothing is moving, so you need to remove the other one. We can just remove this with our hand, but it's gonna still be a little bit hard. Then push it on the side and the brake caliper is out. Now you should be able to remove it with your hand, but this one maybe will go, but no, they're rusted together. I don't like that. That's why I'm doing this brake job. Then just gently use your hammer and push them out. So now we have our brake rotor. It's still in pretty good condition, so we are gonna reuse a brake rotor. Now we need to clean all this rust that happened here and on the other side. We need to clean all that, then we can continue. Now we use a screwdriver and just clean it completely. We pushed every loose dust. Now we need to clean this where it sits. Then we done our job. And you can ask me why I don't remove the brake pad assembly. I don't know how to call this part where brake pad sits. You have 3 bolts, and why I don't remove it, because they are often snapped. Just think, you're always in your mud, in water, it's always something, and those bolts rusted so much together. I often find them snapping and they come to my shop with snapped bolts, so that's always pain in the ass to remove it. So I like to just clean this, just take a couple of minutes and clean this how it's supposed to, and you don't need to remove it, you just need time and just take it easy and remove it, not remove it, clean it the best you can. It's really not that hard. Just don't, in your brake rotor, don't damage it, don't scrape it, just be careful, and you can do it like this. Okay, so now we put back an old brake pad in this slot, and as you can see, now we can put it easily when everything is clean. Now we put this back, and remember, use your old brake pad, because now I'm gonna upset some people, I'm sure about it. This specific tool made for LADA users, a crowbar, and just gently, very gently, put it on the brake rotor and push your calipers back in. So just don't damage your brake rotors, but unfortunately you need to do it this way because I don't have any special tools. So just be careful what you're doing. I done this so many times like this and never had any problems. So just be careful on what are you doing, and you are not gonna have problems. Just be careful, okay? That's it, just be careful. And we are done. The brake caliper is pressed all the way, as you can see, and the brake rotor is in the same condition. Just be careful when you use it. I use a small one. Just be careful. That's the only thing. This job is tricky, to be careful to not damage your brake rotor. Now we use our new brake pads. We use some copper grease, and you want to put just a little amount here when we are meeting our steel plate here. So just put it so it doesn't squeak. Same on the other side. And you can put a little on the back side so that doesn't squeak, but just be careful that there isn't going a lot on these places, just enough so it doesn't squeak. And then we can put it here. As you can see how easily you can put it. That's the point, not to hammer it in. Now we take another one, we take a little bit more of that copper grease. Then we can put our brake caliper back, and now I can show you a trick how to put this back. So this is our old parts, and please buy new one. I forgot, so I'm gonna reuse it. But please buy new one, it's gonna be a lot easier. Now I need to clean all this rust, and when you buy new one you get a new springs, new safety pins. It's really cheap, just buy new. I need to reuse it because I forgot about it. Whoops, now it's on the floor. So when you buy new one you have all this new, then use your old pin, cut the end off and sharpen one end. Now I'm gonna show you why this is so important, so that everything can go easy. Okay, so now we use our two old springs and put it back here. Old or new, if you buy new, you use new, but I can't. The important thing here is to go from the lower side, so it's gonna be a lot easier. Now we take one of this part, put it back. You really can't put it wrong, and you can put it on either side, so that's really easy. Now I use a little bit of lithium grease, just a little bit, nothing too much. We put our pin that's cut off and oil it a little bit, put the grease on it, that grease, and now we can put it inside like that. Then we use a hammer and just slightly push it in. Okay, so now it's bottom out here, it's not level. Now we just use a screwdriver like this one and press it on that side, then hammer it a little bit, and we are through. So now we use a little bit more hammer, because this is LADA, you need a hammer, and just replace it with the new pin. I cleaned this one, just use a new one, and now you push this pin out and replace it with the pin you need. Okay, now stop when you're about halfway. Then you need your screwdriver again to hold this in place, and then just use a little bit of a hammer and then woof, we are done. So yeah, those cut-off pin works magic, because then you can with a little effort just push it through. Now you use your safety pin, use your pliers, and because of this is freshly new with some grease, sometimes you can turn it like this, and then you can put your safety pin, and then you're done with this side. Now let's go on the other. We are at the top now, we have our springs in, then we put this back. Now the trickiest part is to compress this enough. This can be a little bit hard, but you can do it. This is why I love this cut off and sharpened bit so much, because it really helps a lot. It would be it would be really hard to do it straight away with the new pins. So I really want you to do this trick, because it's gonna be a lot easier for you. And then, as you can see, the screwdriver is always a good thing to have, just to press everything down and to go through. Now we use our new pin and push it in. And now we have the same deal. When we go on about a half, we take the screwdriver, wedge it in, and then just making sure to go in easy. It gives me, and yeah, so it can be hard sometimes, but that's what it is. Just use the screwdriver and find a way. Just compress everything and don't hit it too hard, but you can hit it a little bit so that it goes in. Now, once again, we turn this so that we can find a good spot for the safety pin. Well guys, this is it. Now when you push a brake pedal, it's gonna feel so soft because the brake caliper need to go first time to the brake pads. So you do that and then you would have a really strong brake. So first 1 or 2 pumps, it's gonna feel really bad, but then you're gonna have a strong brake. And yeah, that's it. Then you close your brake reservoir and you're done. And for first time now, like 100 kilometers, it just don't brake hard, because to brake in evenly and to have really good brakes, just do it gently for first 100k or less. 50 kilometers is good. Just don't brake hard because it's a LADA. You need to do it gently. Yeah, I know we are not gentle with our LADAs, but that would be good for your brakes. But that's it, you're done. So the biggest trick, use those cut pin and sharpen, because it's gonna go a lot easier. Now, big news for this LADA, let me show you. Well, as you can see, this what I did about a year ago. It's okay, but it can be better. But it got some rust from a year. Somewhat was, I don't know how, but it's not the best. So I need to fix that. I have this and I have on many other spots. So I'm gonna paint a whole car in Raptor. I'm gonna paint it in this color, but we need to remove everything and to paint it. So we have a little bit project on our hand. So yeah, I want to preserve this car as much as possible. So I'm gonna paint it. But before that, in the next episode, I'm gonna remove the interior completely and protect it from the inside again and show you where you can find rust. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Give it a try. So just be careful guys. Take your time. These are brakes. It's not hard, but don't rush anything. Don't force anything. Just take your time, clean everything good, and it shouldn't be any problem. So guys, please like, share and subscribe, and see you in the next video.